Residential and commercial real estate with emphasis on farms and land. They can help you with estate settlements, business liquidations, and farm dispersals, including land, livestock, and equipment. Donald Hillis Realty and Auction Company, representing more and more families in estate auctions each and every day. Call 473-7774 or visit DonaldHillisRealty.com. Firm 2273.
In the Main Street Journal news, the VA Tennessee Valley Healthcare System confirmed last week the McMinnville VA Clinic will close by May 31st. The clinic, located inside Three Star Mall, has faced long-standing staffing problems and is operated through a third-party contract. VA officials say veterans currently receiving care there will begin transitioning to nearby VA clinics or in-network community providers beginning in May. Warren County Executive Terry Bell said county leaders plan to push back on the closure. Bell asked the County Commission's Policy and Personnel Committee to support a resolution urging federal and state officials to help keep the clinic in Warren County. The committee voted 5-0 to send that proposal to the full commission. In other news, a Veterans Town Hall about the closure is scheduled March 20th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Warren County Administrative Building on Locust Street. More local news is just a click away at mainstreetjournal.llc. Until next time, I'm Rob Nunley.
This weather update brought to you by Warehouse Discount Groceries.
Our favorite time of the week is here again. It's more weekly specials from our friends at Warehouse Discount Groceries. Now listen to these. 10-pound bag chicken leg quarters, 59 cents a pound. Pepsi Mountain Dew Starry 16-ounce six-pack, 3 for $12. Chef Boyardee pasta, 99 cents. And Tostino's 100-count pizza rolls, just $9.99. Don't forget about the full-service deli from the friendly folks at Warehouse Discount Groceries, 835 Smithville Highway on the Strip.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Our forecast keeping us a little active here the next 2 days. Not everyone sees rain, but a few pop-up showers possible this afternoon. And into our southwestern counties, we could see a storm or two fire. High temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Overnight tonight, a few more lingering isolated showers and temps in the 40s. And it'll return to near 80 tomorrow afternoon.
A message from Daryl Worley on behalf of the TWRA.
Tornadoes, flooding, and wildfires have really made it tough on the state agencies charged with managing our fish and wildlife. Since they rely on licensed dollars to do their work, many budgets are stretched to the max. Join me in supporting fish and wildlife by texting the word FISH to 50555. A $10 donation will automatically be added to your phone bill. You'll be sent a link for a free download of the song's ringtone. Thanks in advance for your support of our fish and wildlife.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Behind the Mic with Chad Graves. Tonight, we're talking about the future of Warren County and the issues facing our community. My guest tonight is Chris Rippy, who currently represents District 3 on the Warren County Commission and is running for a second term. Chris also works as a social worker with the Public Defender's Office, where he works with individuals and families going through some of the toughest situations in our community. Tonight we'll talk about his work on the county commission, the recent announcement about the VA clinic closing, and some of the broader challenges facing families here in Warren County. But before we really dive in, I do want to acknowledge the tragedy that occurred yesterday here in McMinnville involving a family in our community. Our thoughts and prayers are with everyone affected. And moments like that remind us of how important it is for communities to support each other.
Yeah, true. It just continued prayers for everybody involved. It was very tragic and unfortunate and a shock, but there's different people involved, and different schools have been praying today and this morning. So we just want to keep everybody involved in that. It's a shock and just unfortunate that it happened.
Yeah, it's certainly a tragedy. It's hard to even think about.
Right.
It is. So let's move on to a few other things here. So Chris, you were first elected in 2022.
Right.
And now running for a second term in District 3. There's 3 Republicans running in that district, and so that will be decided by the primary vote.
Yeah, because only 2 candidates can go, and since there's not a other party running in general. So the top 2 will go. So basically, this primary is going to be really important, more important than in the past. So most people don't vote in the primary, but we need to get them out and vote this year.
Well,
for sure.
maybe we'll get a big turnout this year. But Chris, tell us about yourself. Where did you grow up, and why are you in Warren County?
I actually grew up, born and raised in Portland, Tennessee. It's one of the small towns in Sumner County. I was born and raised there. Left there, went to MTSU. Did a little bit of before I was a social work major. I was actually was going to play football, and I was an acting major, and I switched to social work. That's how I got involved in that. I stayed in Murfreesboro for a while, and then years later, I met my now wife, was a girlfriend. And I ended up moving to Warren County, and I actually just kind of fell in love with it. It kind of reminds me back at home. Maybe not as country as where I grew up at, but pretty close, if you can believe that. And so I've stayed here, raised our family, got involved. A lot of people think that
where is Sumner County?
Sumner County is about 30 minutes north of Nashville. So once you hit Hendersonville, Hendersonville starts the county going north. Gallatin, Tennessee, White House, Portland, Tennessee, Westmoreland. Gallatin is actually a county seat. So a lot of rich history up there, a lot of country music artists back in the day. If people know about Hendersonville, they know that's where Twitty City used to be back in the day. It's Conway's
Conway,
place,
Twitty.
which you would know this, which TBN bought that back a few decades ago. So that's where I'm from, in Sumner County.
All right, and then you met your now wife at MTSU.
She not at MTSU. We met through some friends, but I was at MTSU.
Oh,
She may
gotcha.
have been at Tech probably the time I was at MTSU. I can't remember. But I just ended up moving up this way and staying in Warren County and getting to know people, and I guess the rest is kind of history from there.
So you mentioned an acting background. So did you study acting in college?
I actually I did theater in high school, and I got a couple awards to go do theater in college. And once I got there, it just, I was doing stuff at M Campus, but somebody kind of mentioned to me about social work. I've always liked working with people and helping people, and didn't even know social work was even a degree. And some other professors kind of recommended that too, so I got involved like that and started doing that. It became kind of natural to me. I had to let sports go, which was really hard for me to do, and just started doing social work pretty early on in college, and I've been doing it ever since. So my 23rd year, I think, doing that.
So have you thought about just jumping back in and auditioning for one of the shows?
I would love to, but I don't know if I'd have time. I still like to watch certain plays and stuff like that. But I think my daughter did a couple plays when she was younger. But I probably never not. I just it's something that was fun to do at that time. But I probably wasn't as good of an actor as I thought I was going to be. So I had to let that go too.
Speaking of your daughter, I saw her catch an amazing pass the other night in the flag football game. So she's a good athlete.
Yeah, she's done pretty good, and all those girls are. It's fun to watch. I try to tame myself. I can be a little bit, histrionic when it comes to watching these games, but flag football has brought a lot of things to Warren County, and our girls are getting seen. I love watching them. We got a big game Friday. Two of the top teams in the state, and it's going to be really, really good.
So who are they playing on Friday?
We have Blackman.
Blackman on Friday.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Blackman's girls is one of the few teams in our region that went to the state invitational last year. So they got several girls coming back. So it's going to be good. It's going to be competitive, and we're going to see how good we are. So I'm excited about that.
Those games are really fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's just the rules are a little different, So
they can get confusing. They've changed them, and I'm still confused over some of them, but it's a lot better. What they have going on now is basically the same rules as the college level, which makes sense. So last year was learning. This year, that's why we're punting. Punting wasn't last year. They've moved several things around. I think we have better refs this year too already. That's going to be a big plus.
Well, I'd say the refs have to learn the sport as well.
Yeah.
So is flag football a TSSAA sport now?
It is now.
It is now.
Yeah.
This is the first year for that.
Yeah, and some schools, and I think next year, maybe the 27-28 season, they're wanting to try to get some of those more D1 schools to take it on. So you'll start seeing your Tennessee Techs and your TSUs and your MTSUs and all those schools start adding it too, then it gets big.
So never been a better time to be in flag football.
It's the perfect time to do it. It's exciting to watch.
So Ari has committed to going to somewhere?
She hasn't committed yet. She's got a couple offers. She's got one at Cumberland in Lebanon, and she's had an offer from Freed Hardeman in Henderson, Tennessee. And there's probably some more coming, but she'll decide if that's what she wants to do or not. But they're fun just to get those offers and watch them.
So you have a sports background. So what did you play growing up?
I played way too many sports, if you ask my mom. Up until high school, up until ninth grade, I played baseball, basketball, and football. And then I stuck with football and track the remainder of the time. But as a kid, I played 3 of those, and I played soccer for 1 year. But I love sports. I'm a sports fanatic. I still try to shoot around as much as I can with my kids. Always doing something. We have a kind of a sports family, so I try to stay involved.
So tell us about the rest of your family. I know you told me you had 4 kids.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 4 kids are all about 3 years apart. So Malachi, who a lot of people know, especially half the kids at the high school, he's the barber in town, 931 Studio. Malachi Rippy. He's doing really good, very proud, successful.
I've heard good things about him.
Yeah, he's very talented in that and just knows a lot of people, loves what he does. And then Darius, our middle one, sorta, he is actually a Marine. He's at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina and is doing that, getting into some special ops stuff. So he's about to start training. Actually, I think he starts it this Wednesday. He's got training for a while. Very proud of him. He's the most independent kid we have. He can go off to space, and we probably wouldn't know it. Ariana, who you've met, she's a senior that we have, and so she'll be graduating in May. And then I have my youngest is Josiah. He's 8th grade, plays basketball, and I don't mind. They all done well in school, as long as they go to church and put God first and go to school, then we don't mind what they play. But that's just his priority me and my wife have. So same way that she grew up, same way I grew up. So that's not changing anything.
So sports is big in your household.
Yeah, I like it. I don't push it as much as my brothers pushed me when I was young. But if it's an option, I like to kind of encourage them to play.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed watching sports too, and I like the I guess the competitive aspect of it. It teaches the kids how to be a team player, but it also teaches them that they got to work hard.
Right. It's a life lesson. I use it as that, and I have good coaches and family members growing up, and it was a big deal in my household. And like I said, as long as I did the other two, I could play sports. I tell you right now, if I didn't go to church, my mom was not letting me even go to practice. So that was just how it was.
Just grew up
and
that way.
That's just a big deal. When you grow up a certain way, that's just what you carry on with you. So I greatly appreciate how I was raised. So.
And Miss Rippy is a assistant principal at the middle school. Is that right?
She is. Yep. She's there, doing well there. Always trying her best to help the kids coming through. It's kind of a tough job, but she's good at it. Very organized. Very proud of her. It's up her alley. She's so good at that stuff. She gets a lot of recognition from people. But she's always working with the kids. She's taught math for a lot of years, and then stepped into that role. Stepped into the instructional coordinator role first, and then one of the assistant principals. So she's very good. A lot of people know who she is.
Yeah, we see her out helping with traffic all the time. She's a worker.
Good old traffic. Yeah. That's
I know. Routing traffic there at that middle school's it's a challenge.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, Chris, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about the county commission. It's like, what do you do on the county commission, committees, all that sorts of fun stuff there on the commission?
It'll work.
All right. We're sitting down with Chris Rippy on Behind the Mic, and we will be right back.
Painted in bright green. Hey, that's my Uncle Bill there.
On the farm, uptime isn't just nice to have, it's a must-have. That's why JLG Ag telehandlers are a multitasking workhorse. Whether moving and loading more, stacking higher, or even accessing tighter spots with compact models, these machines help poultry, cotton, and row crop producers maximize every moment on the job. Once you get behind the wheel, you'll get more done. See JLG Ag telehandlers for yourself. Come out to Try Green Equipment in McMinnville at 305 Shangri-La Lane.
Step inside the cafe at Tree City, McMinnville's coziest hidden gem. Once the lobby of the inn at Tree City, it's now a warm, inviting cafe filled with soft couches, low and high-top tables. The perfect spot to sip, relax, or get some work done with free Wi-Fi. Enjoy locally roasted coffee, espresso, and handcrafted drinks that rival any national coffee shop, but with small-town charm you won't find anywhere else. Come see what everyone's talking about. The cafe at Tree City on Sparta Street in McMinnville. Your perfect spot to sip, study, or just stay a while.
I'm Tim Hitchcock, inviting you to join me every Tuesday at 5 for Hey Hey Hitchcock, proudly presented by Farm Credit Mid-America. We're talking everything green, from backyard gardening tips to big ag insights, plus special guests from right here in the nursery capital of the world. Tune in on 97.7 WBMC every Tuesday at 5 or catch us streaming live on Facebook. Also available on YouTube.
It's auction time in Tennessee on Saturday, April the 4th at 10 a.m. We'll be at 2100 Beacon Light Road, Morrison, Tennessee, selling 98.78 beautiful acres offered in 11 tracts ranging in size from 5 to 22 acres. This property is mostly sown in grass. There are 2 ponds, a barn, a silo, and a couple of sheds. If you've been looking for a small tract or a nice farm, be ready to bid and buy on auction day. For more info, call 473-LAND or visit dmsimpson.com.
The temperature sure can fluctuate this time of the year, but one thing that shouldn't go up and down is your internet experience. That's why at Ben Lomond Connect we've built a multi-gig fiber network with you, the customer, in mind. No hybrid coax and struggling upload speeds. Just a true fiber to the home connection with the fastest internet speeds around. Get 1 gig, 2 gig, or 8 gig and game, stream, and work better on Ben Lomond Fiber. Leave the wild swings to Mother Nature and let us keep your internet blazing fast round the clock. For more information, call your local BLC office or go to benlomondconnect.com. Some exclusions may apply.
For over 60 years, one name has stood for trust, value, heritage, and exceptional care. Ed Rogers Chevrolet in Sparta, Tennessee. From their outstanding service department to a fine selection of quality new and used vehicles, they're committed to doing things the right way. So whether you're looking for a new Chevrolet, car, truck, or SUV, you'll find real savings and the kind of stellar customer service that keeps people coming back for years to come. Ed Rogers Chevrolet in Sparta. The best deal and service you won't find anywhere else.
Welcome back to Behind the Mic. I am sitting down with Chris Rippy, who is a county commissioner from District 3, but that's only one of his jobs. He's also a dad. He's also a social worker with John Parton's Public Defender's Office,
Right.
Which is actually just behind us here in the building. So did you just walk over here?
I actually drove, just for the simple fact, and just in case somebody needed to park. But yeah, it's not very far.
Yeah, not far at all. All right. So as a county commissioner from District 3, what do you do?
Well, like any county commissioner, so Warren County is unique. We have 12 districts, 2 commissioners per district. So we have 24 commissioners, which is quite a bit for a county. I think there's only 3 or 4 counties in the state that has 24 commissioners capacity.
So we can come back to that, but I do want to ask a question about that.
That's
so
fine.
Keep going.
And we're just elected every 4 years to kind of, in my own terms, kind of just to operate the fundamentals of the county, and you kind of represent your district. Now, some stuff does kind of flow over depending on the issue, and you can kind of I get questions all the time from people not in my district. This is how it goes. The past 2 years, at least, we've been trying to get the word out. People need to be more involved in their local elections and county officials and what we do. I think with the help of us videoing the county commissions and the committee meetings, and people learning what their county districts are is very important. I think that's why you have more contested races this year, because people are kind of more involved. But we operate, and there's different committees that we do. I'm on 3 traditional committees and 1 non-traditional. I'm on policy and personnel. I'm on building and grounds. I'm on our education committee. And then we have what we call an opioid abatement council that we just recently, a couple years ago, had to introduce because with all the opioid abatement settlement money, government laid down, sent monies out to the states and trickled down to the county. So we had to create a committee for that. And I serve as secretary on all of those. So I keep up with all the note-taking and everything like that. So it helps me understand what's going on and the speed of it. Learn a lot. They're very busy committees. building and grounds, as you know, we operate all the county buildings. That includes the mall, courthouse, health department. So we get a lot of questions asked about what's doing that operating, when is the health department going to get open, all that stuff. Policy and personnel has to do with your local job stuff, taxes.
Mm-hmm.
That education is one that we kind of correlate with a school board. It's not anything you have like the power to like make changes. We can make a lot of recommendations. For instance, the Durham school bus status or issue that we're going to have to vote on next week has to do with the education committee. We can make a strong recommendation in that. And then opioid is set along a long service that we use. So there's been stuff that's been coming out of that committee that's really I'm really proud of as well. So that's kind of what county commissioners do. You can be as good as a county commissioner as you want to.
Right.
You can sit and vote on stuff every single time, or you can just kind of sit back and it's whatever. It's if you ask most people, I love doing it. It's nothing to me. It's just I do social work for a living, so I like being on the team. But it's something that people probably don't wake up saying, I just want to be a county commissioner one day. But I enjoy doing it, and I want to serve my district as long as I can, as long as they want me back there. So I really enjoy doing that and being a voice for District 3.
So you mentioned we have 24 county commissioners in Warren County. Seems to me like it might be hard to get 24 people on the same page. You don't have to get 24. I think you got to get 18 usually.
Yeah, it's two-thirds. Yeah, it's 24 could be quite, the way the districts are broken up here, the 12 districts, but it could be to some people quite a few. I have one personality, but you got 23 other people that may have something different. At the same time, people have to miss. You don't necessarily have to have everybody there to motion or forward a vote. So it kind of works out, but it's quite a few that we have. Like I say, there's only very few counties, if I'm not mistaken, that only have 24 commissioners.
Yeah.
And we may have one of the lowest populations that has 24. But I don't know all the regulatories to get that stuff changed. I know there's a couple of counties that are changing their districts. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say Chester County may be shortening their number of districts at some point, but I'm not for sure. I think maybe somebody told me that superintendent may have mentioned it to me, but it's just what it is. I don't know if they'd ever change it here, but it's a lot.
It seems like a difficult thing to change.
Yeah.
All right, so you're on several of these committees. First off, Building and Grounds.
Right.
I'm sure that you were part of the, the decision to accept the bid or get the bids for the parking lot there at the, we call it the mall, but it's not really the mall anymore.
Right, yeah. We actually just made a motion last week, I think, in one of our committees to go ahead and get that. We had a pretty good bid with a company. Hoping to get that done. And Terry Bell's been excellent at looking at this stuff and getting in. We have other supports too, but got a pretty good bid to do a two-part covering. So you're going to have the health department part. It's going to be done in a separate contract with the rest of the mall. And that's front and back, and that's marketing and everything. Hoping to have that. They have quotes, so I won't mention the quotes on air because it could change a little bit. And people sometimes will take those quotes and make them actual permanent. But I will say that we're looking to have that done by the end of April, hopefully, and it should be enough time to get the mall and everything moved over, or get the health department moved over.
So, if I recall, it was about $750,000. Is that?
Well, there's part of it that's going to be possibly some grant funded through the part. So it's not really
for the health department,
right? So. Roughly looking at that, if you do the whole thing, but it's kind of a quote. So,
but that's a giant parking lot.
It is, and it's going to look really, really nice once we get it done because that's the top grade materials what we have coming in, doing a little bit of extra work at the markings. The markings are a big deal. Some of the quotes you get on this stuff don't include the markings or striping, and it does. And it's going to look really, really nice. It's going to look totally different. You can't see anything out there right now, and that could hopefully help. That's from health department down past Roses. I think it may help up the ante, maybe have Kroger get theirs marked too, and then the whole thing is going to look brand new as far as a lot. So it's improving. It's a lot of government's slow. Yeah. We make decisions sometimes fast, but it may take a while to get it done. But I really think these commissioners we've actually done really good. There's been a lot of projects going on every committee, and I'm looking forward to getting that done. I can't wait to see it done. There's been a lot of work into it. There's been some delays in getting some stuff done, but we've done really well at doing that. there's a lot of people involved to get this stuff pushed and done, but I'm pretty excited about that.
So on the education committee, why was the Durham bus services such a controversial discussion?
Well, now I've talked to several people, and I can't speak for anybody else. I'll speak to you where I come from. I'm all about saving money. Anybody says that, I'm all about it. But I'm also a person who I like to get both sides of the story. Anytime there's people involved, employees, people's lives, I like for them to speak, and I like to kind of balance it. Change is hard, but there were certain questions I wanted to get answered before I made a decision. First of all, I didn't have a contract in front of me. I never vote on anything really that big if there's not actual contract laying in front of me. So we had more time to think on it, and I've reached out to both Durham and I pronounce it Eco. It may be Echo.
Yeah.
I've talked to their person, met him in person. He came up here, spent 2 days talking to Durham, and hopefully next week or this week actually, I got to meet with them and decide how they feel about it. But it had nothing to do with the money being cut. It had to do with what they're going to offer. And there's just about 6 or 7 questions I had that I wanted to get answered before I made that. I am one of the ones who kind of pushed to, let's keep Durham until we have more answers. I just want to make a decision on that right now. And hopefully my goal is to get to where everybody's on the same page and like it.
Mm-hmm.
Then everybody, or most people at least, are happy. You're not going to make everybody perfect, but I wasn't about to have 71 people at a committee meeting not have a voice to be heard. That's just how I am. I'm always going to be like that. So I think the way it balanced out was fine. I think you have the people that are pushing the budget part, and you have people want to push let's get the other side of it. I think it worked out fine, but we'll see what happens. It still may be touchy, but I think there's been a lot of answered questions that made a lot of sense, and I think that's where I was going with mine. So
well, and I understand, the money part of it, but I guess I never fully understood why there were so many people that were saying, "Hey, you're going to save $1 million, but we really want to keep Durham." I mean, to me, I'm like, I can't tell the difference between an Echo ride and a Durham.
Yeah, there's certain changes, but there's things they're going to offer too that I won't bring up because some of it I don't know if it was actually in a contract yet, but could have been somewhat upgrades, I'll say. But we'll see how that works out. I do feel like it's a lot better than it was a couple weeks ago when we met. So hopefully we'll get everybody on the same page and go from there.
All right, so we got to go to another break, but I briefly wanted to mention some of the accomplishments that you've been a part of. The Employee Health Clinic, new health department building, which we're going to be moving into pretty soon, right?
Yeah, it should be June or July. Hopefully June, I think, if I'm not right, but I may be off a month, but it'll be this summer.
Yeah, so when we come back from the break, we can talk a little bit about the Family Treatment Court because I don't know what that is.
That's brand new. We'll talk about it.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Behind the Mic, and I'm sitting down with Chris Rippy from the County Commission. We'll be right back.
This news update brought to you by Coffee Bank and Trust.
Looking for a loan? At Coffee Bank and Trust, we make it happen. From business goals to personal dreams, we specialize in finding a way to get you approved fast. Better listening, better solutions, better banking. Because at Coffee Bank and Trust, we're committed to serving you better. Come home to Coffee Bank and Trust, a division of Coffee County Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 646005. Coffee Bank and Trust. Believe in better.
In the Main Street Journal News, the Rotary Community Fund will soon sell a home donated by members of the Milner family. Brothers Doug and Don Milner donated their parents' home at 100 River Drive to benefit Rotary's charitable work in Warren County. The property has been appraised at $445,000. The home will be shown by appointment and open to the public Saturdays this month from 1 to 4 p.m., with bids due by noon on March 30th. Proceeds from the sale will go into an endowment supporting community projects. In other news, UT Extension is marking March as Extension Month in Tennessee. The Warren County Extension Office reported more than 5,000 contacts last year and continues offering programs in agriculture, youth development, and family consumer sciences. The office will host an open house March 20th from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. More local news is just a click away at mainstreetjournal.llc. Until next time, I'm Rob Nunley.
The weather brought to you by 3 Star Cinema. Enter a world of action, suspense, comedy, and romance at 3 Star Cinema, where the latest stars shine and the perfect movie captivates you. Now showing
The Bride, rated R. Scream 7, rated R. Hoppers, rated PG. I Can Only Imagine 2, rated PG. Goat, rated PG.
Call the 24-hour movie line for showtimes at 473-7600. Experience your hometown movies at 3 Star Cinema.
I'm Fox 17 Code Red meteorologist Greg Bobus. Our forecast keeping us a little active here the next 2 days. Not everyone sees rain, but a few pop-up showers possible this afternoon. And into our southwestern counties, we could see a storm or two fire. High temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Overnight tonight, a few more lingering isolated showers and temps in the 40s. And it'll return to near 80 tomorrow afternoon.
Welcome back to Behind the Mic. I'm Chad Graves. I'm sitting down with Chris Rippy from the County Commission, also a social worker, a father, and I'm sure you've been a coach at some point.
Yeah, I did. I think I coached AAU for a little bit. I'm not the greatest head coach, but I've coached over the years. I try to.
All right, so before the break, we were briefly talking about some of the accomplishments since you've been in the County Commission, and one of them on here is the Family Treatment Court. I don't really understand that. What is it?
It's new. So the Family Treatment Court, now not everybody has this. Because we had the Opioid Abatement Council, we have bulks of money that come in at different times. And you have to appropriate those and start stuff. Fortunate, Warren County already has like an adult recovery court that we use through circuit court. We have like day reporting centers. We have a lot of treatment-based stuff here. Well, we decided to start a family treatment court that runs through General Sessions Judge Ron Moore's court, and we had to hire like what they call a opioid abatement social worker, which a guy named Keith Ford, who's been on Simmons Show for a minute.
Great guest.
Great, very good. Has way more initials past his name. Talking about a father, he's father of about to be 9, so he knows what he's doing. He's really good at that. Already in the school system, and it's his position is kind of preventative. We want to get to these families before they get into like the legal system. So he has the availability and flexibility to help families, not just kids, families, mothers, fathers, whatever, try to get them before they get too deep into it. And so we have all the funding to do that, so we appropriate it for that. That's going to be huge. That actually rolled out in March. It's probably going to be a couple months before you start actually seeing families getting some more stuff set up. But that's going to be big because not every county has that, and that's going to be something that's going to be in addition to outside of what I do for the Public Defender's Office, because I can only see the ones we're appointed. Mr. Ford can see ones that are all across the county. So I'm pretty excited about that. And once it starts going, we got a lot of backup. You got people on the DAs that's doing it. Matheny's helping with it. Investigator Caldwell. There's just a bunch of people involved. And when you have people in the legal system involved and supporting it, you know it's something good, and that's just like a big deal to me. So I'm definitely going to push that. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, it sounds like a great thing for our community, and I'm glad that we're able to bring that here.
Yeah, and I'll add too. We brought this up in our committee. Executive Terry Bell and Chief of Staff Jason Hillis were huge in pushing this. I was probably more excited. Jason Hillis was like big in asking questions. But grew up here. He's seen what the effects of it is. And to me, and everybody kind of jumped in on it, they could see when they can see that it could be a change if we do it right. And that was like just clicked it on, and we just kind of ran with it and did whatever we needed to appropriate it. And we're running it like Warren County needs to be run. We don't have any actually outside influence. So we're not anything up under any type of state Band-Aid or anything. We know what Warren County needs, we feel like, and we're going to run it that way. And Keith Ford is kind of leading that avenue, and I think it's going to be good once we really get rolling. Pretty excited about that.
So, major local issue, the closing of the VA clinic at the end of May.
Yeah, well, I got a lot of texts and emails about that, or texts and messages. First of all, and
was it you and Terry Bell that kicked him out?
No, I will say this though, Terry is real big on doing whatever he can to keep it here. I think they met last week. They had a little forum out at maybe at the mall on Warren First. It's a federal government issue, and I think they have a contract with Valor, and it's cutbacks. Has very little, if really nothing, to do with the counties, other than it's in a county building. But Warren County is going to do whatever we can to try to keep it here or some type of affiliate here. Everybody knows that Warren County has a huge amount of veterans and people even serving now. We have one of the best guard armories in the state. It will be sad to have something not like a VA clinic here. And people have to realize we, and once we start reaching out to our federal and state officials, they know this. Our clinic does not just only serve Warren County. I mean, we get people come from all over. A lot of border counties, White County, Cannon. Some even actually come from Chattanooga and Murfreesboro because those places are so full, even from Putnam County. It would be a huge loss if we close that. And I know they have a close date. I think it's sent out maybe end of May. But we're going to try to do whatever we can. But a lot of it's going to be reaching out to our federal, like your Scott Desjardins and people like that who have their contact information. I got sent to me yesterday. And it's not just only elected officials in the county that should be doing this. I know that there's people, just regular citizens, who are reaching out too, who are either veterans or have family members that are. So I don't think it just has to be elected officials that need to reach out. It needs to be a county effort, because that's a huge loss to me if we were to lose that, because it displaces a lot of people that basically were walking around because they served our country. I have a problem with that, but it's really due to a lot of federal and contract cuts that we can't help. But
so I really have kind of wanted to get to the root of this issue, and I would really like to dive into that a little bit more, because I don't know all of the inner workings of this.
And there's some that I don't know. I can speak on that part I just said. I won't get too much into the depths of it, because there's certain little parts that are federal government and business stuff that I don't know. As much as they put on, local media and stuff like that, and I think Channel 4 and Channel 5 sent some stuff out, I will probably be safe leaving it at that, because there's a lot of stuff involved that doesn't really tie into the county. But the main issue is, I know for a fact, are the federal cuts and the contract cuts that we have. It seems like it's kind of went downhill ever since they moved from the USA spot, went out to the mall. Not necessarily the mall's fault, because we gave them the space, but just the contracts overall. I do not like when they cut certain things, and that's one thing you cannot cut. I don't think that the people that we have here, Warren County has a bunch, 500 maybe plus veterans. I just don't think they're going to want to go to Murfreesboro, Chattanooga. I know they're talking about sending our people to Tullahoma. I don't think they want to make that drive. They've always come here, and we should. We have a good number of veterans. So I'm praying that something else will happen, and I don't say hoping. I'm really praying that, because I don't want that to happen. It's a big deal. I've had a bunch of people reach out about that.
It was my understanding that when they say there were staffing shortages, they're having a hard time hiring people. They were looking for medical doctors and not nurse practitioners. Is that part of the issue?
That I know we had nurse practitioners in the past, and they worked pretty well. For whatever reason, and I don't know the details on this. They wanted to switch to the MDs, where you couldn't find MDs to do it. Some MDs didn't want to drive as far, and some MDs want to do video. Well, not every veteran wants to do everything on video. You need to see them face to face. So that's part of it too. And then I think it's just a cut part. I don't know the budgets and all this stuff about how it works with the federal government, but it just wasn't working. So you couldn't keep people staffed. You had people going out there and nobody was there, or have appointments that had to wait. People couldn't be seen for several weeks. That just can't do that. I don't know if people were overworked or what their schedule was, but it went downhill pretty fast.
So I guess the question becomes, should there have been more money allocated to this VA office? Because if there's more money allocated, then that means that they could hire more staff, or did it not make sense? I mean,
I don't know. With the numbers, and like I say, it's the federal issue. I don't know how they did that part, but if you go back several years ago, it wasn't this big of a problem. So I don't know how much they actually did the cuts, but it became an issue pretty fast. I mean, this past year it declined pretty fast, and I just don't understand that part of it.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it was the contracted company or was this actually the
I would hate to say because they're both involved, and I've heard both, but I don't want to speak on it because
Right.
I don't know how that works. But I do know that it could be both of them. I know there were some contracts that were not what they thought. I want to say Valor, who they contract with, and that could have been a problem, but I don't want to speak on it and not know for sure. There's more stuff. I will say this. There's more stuff that's probably going to come out as we get closer to May. And honestly, this month in April, we may learn more about it, and maybe it will come out. But I'm hoping we can work something out. I mean, I'm I have three, brothers that are all veterans. I got one son in the military now. It's just a big deal. We have a bunch from Warren County that go serve our country, and I'm not disregarding any other body, but this is a Warren County issue right now because it's our clinic, and I just want to do whatever I can.
And you said there were about 500 veterans?
I think there's on average. I want to say there's more than that, and I think Coffee has quite a bit too. But I want to say something, and I may be a little bit off. Seems like I was looking at something and talking to people, and it is roughly about 5. I don't know why I feel like there's probably more veterans in Warren County, but it's could be roughly around that area.
So, and the closest VA to here where people would have to go, where is that?
They're going to probably be transferring to Tullahoma on the base, but like I say, most people not going to want to make that drive. You used to driving 5 or 10 minutes to get what you need versus driving 45, 50. It may not be a big deal for me and you, but when you're a veteran, you don't want to make that drive. And to be honest with you, to me, when it comes to people who have fought for this country, you shouldn't have to, especially when you have means to do something here. I mean, it's worked fine for a while. I hated that cut should be made to something like that.
So, do you know what staffing issues that they're referring to?
I don't yet, and it kind of all came up to me from somebody last week, and so it's been so many different opinions about stuff. Trying to reach out to different officials. I don't know for sure where it's at or where we're at with that part. I'm hoping to find out, or hoping maybe get information from other people. I know the executive Bells looked into it because it was once it hit, it was huge, a bunch of people. That could be the biggest topic that we have to deal with for this actual finalize this term.
So do you believe that closing the VA clinic is going to make it harder for Warren County veterans to get care?
It's going to be extremely hard. In some people's eyes, it's going to be impossible for them to get care. You have veterans here that it's hard for them to even get to our clinic, but they're able to make it because of the proximity. It's going to be impossible for them to go anywhere else and do it. It's just not going to happen. And other people as well. The waiting time and stuff like that, it's just going to hurt. There was a comment made by somebody that there could be lives lost because of treatment. I just don't feel like that should even be a question if you have the capability of doing it. But it's kind of out of our hands when it comes to making the final decisions with Inc. But we can be a voice to any official. So if anybody out there has connections or knows people or has contacts with federal government outside of our elected officials and what we do, please reach out because it needs to be a county. It needs to be a county effort, and that's just plain and simple. That's just how it's going to have to happen. So,
all right. So I think we got to take one more break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about a few challenges in our community that are coming up, and I just wanted to kind of get your perspective on those. All right, so you're listening to Behind the Mic, and we are talking with Chris Rippy, and we will be right back.
Leaned a little bit, and that's a ragged old flag you got hanging on it. He said, "Have a seat."
Are you looking for more chances to try out your victory dances? The multiplayer instant games from the Tennessee Lottery feature chances to win up to $1 million. That means you could be minutes away from the Shelbyville Shuffle, the Chattanooga Cha-Cha, the Memphis Mambo, or maybe even the Tri-Cities Two-Step. The multiplayer instant games only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly. Or maybe the Bucksnort Boogie. What about the Nashville Nae Nae? The Melry
Pas de Dieu.
Good morning from Town Talk on WBMC. I'm Rob.
And I'm Raven, and we're inviting local businesses to join the Town Talk Breakfast Club.
Here's how it works. Just go to the Town Talk Facebook page, find the Breakfast Club post, and comment your business name to enter.
Every Friday, we'll draw one lucky winner live on air,
and you'll win a free fresh breakfast from your team at the cafe at Tree City.
They've rolled out a delicious new breakfast menu, fresh-made favorites, morning classics, and yes, coffee is included.
Join the Town Talk Breakfast Club, only on WBMC.
At Pioneer Building Supply, we're your one-stop shop for lumber, tools, and building supplies. Whether you're tackling a major renovation or just need a few materials for a small project, we've got you covered. From framing to finishing touches, we have the products and expertise to help you get the job done right. Stop by and see us today at 231 Northgate Drive, Suite 250, McMinnville, or give us a call at 931-473-7777. Our friendly, knowledgeable team is always ready to help you with whatever you need for your next project. For 50 years, Pioneer Building Supply has been the trusted name in construction materials. We've built our reputation on quality, service, and the commitment to your success. Pioneer Building Supply, building your dreams since 1975.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Pioneer Building Supply, where good business makes good friends.
Pioneer Building Supply.
Getting a loan can sometimes be confusing and intimidating. You may have questions before you make the decision to borrow money. If you need help with a car, home, or personal loan, I'd be glad to talk it over with you. Come by and see me, Meredith Woodley, or any of our lending team. At Security Federal Savings Bank, we look forward to helping you find the answers you need to feel at ease with your next purchase. That's Security Federal Savings Bank, the friendliest bank in town. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Cristo ha resucitado y en él tenemos esperanza. Christ has risen and in him we have hope. Están invitados a nuestra iglesia bilingüe llamada Iglesia Bautista Resurrección y Esperanza. Nuestros servicios son los domingos a las 10:45 a.m. y los miércoles a las 6:30 p.m. Estamos ubicados en 662 North Spring Street, McMinnville. You're invited to our bilingual church named Resurrection and Hope Baptist Church. Our services are Sundays at 10:45 a.m. and Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. We are located at 662 North Spring Street, McMinnville.
Welcome back to Behind the Mic. I'm Chad Graves, sitting down with Chris Rippy. And Chris is a social worker with the Public Defender's Office. And Chris, through your work with the Public Defender's Office, you see people at some of the lowest points of their life. What challenges are families in Warren County facing right now?
And our office is really good. You know, we have to defend a lot of people, and we deal with people who incarcerated. John Parton runs that office like no other, and he allows me to do a lot of stuff from a social work level that I've been able to use 23 years of experience into one job, and I love it. Warren County, everybody knows there's been a huge kind of a shadow of a drug issue for a while, probably even before I moved up here. And the biggest challenge is getting people through programs and getting them to the mindset that if they come back here, nothing's really changing. So you can't go around the same people, otherwise you're going to be back in the same situation. It's just the mindset they have to get out of. I typically will send people out of treatment to treatment away from here anywhere from 90 days to over a year. And the longer they stay away and get their mindset right, the better. And it seems like it's weekly to me that we do that. You kind of have to. Some people just don't have the strength to do it. The way our government's set up now, local government, I really like the way our offices collaborate with us in the DA's office and the court system and other attorneys and treatment facilities. We send people to treatment all the time. And it's saving families. You know, if I need to send somebody off for a year and it's going to save their family and keep their kids at home and they can be a family in a year, I'd much rather help them do that than kids going into custody and losing a parent and then going here and mom has to go to Alabama and dad has to go to what. I don't want to do that. So it's a big deal to me when I have to do that because it keeps people, you know, kind of unified. So I enjoy doing that. Our office is real big on that. We have, 4 awesome attorneys and office staff and investigator, and we all work together. Like we all do what we have to. And I just love it. Like I get a thrill just people accomplishing things. I've sent people off and they've actually, had their kids in treatment and gave birth out of here, and they hadn't come back yet. Like, that's a big deal to me when you do that. So I just enjoy helping people. That I've always been like that.
So does Warren County have a problem that is worse than surrounding counties for drugs, or is this?
I don't know if I'd say it's worse. I know some people may have their own opinion about that. I could take to several other counties and places that you're kind of like, I didn't think this place even existed, like a movie. I don't think we're there. We have our issues, but we also have resources and people willing to help people get out of this issue. That to me is bigger than the issue itself. If we were a county that didn't have resources and didn't have people working and didn't have a public defender's office like we have and didn't have, judges and, Judge Ron Moore, basically trying to encourage people from the bench, and DAs and assistant DAs now who are big into treatment and family treatment courts, and your Terry Bells and Jason Hillis's working on stuff, and other commissioners working on treatment, and Scott Kelly's doing LifeWise. If you didn't have all that stuff, then I would say we're a pretty bad county. But we have all that stuff that's been implemented over the past 3.5 years. That's a big deal to me, because that didn't have to happen. Now, you take all that stuff away, then you don't have it. In our school system, you got your principals at Hickory Creek and your West, and that's a big deal, and it's a lot. I can carry to some counties that don't have that, and you can see how much different they are run. But we're getting there. It's just, you just got to keep doing it. You never want to give up on stuff like that.
So what resources exist locally for families who may be struggling?
We got a bunch, and I'll probably forget some, so I apologize if I forget, because they'll probably text me or message me if I forget. Families in Crisis we use a lot. Courtney Breedlove is great doing what she does. We have the Adult Recovery Court, ARC, that's run. This is judicial, so Brad Price runs that along with Judge Stanley, and there's several people on that board. Our boss, John Parton, is on that. We have a family or a drug court graduation. I don't know if it's once a year. They just had one, and I had to miss it, but it's common. It's a big deal. It's hard to get through drug court, but it's a big improvement and big encouragement people to get through it. Talking about keeping families together and getting the motivation back. You have your family treatment court, like I was mentioning earlier. Judge Moore just got approved what they call Safe Baby Court, and I won't talk too much on that because it's outside of what I'm going to be able to do, but it's going to help those kids from 0 to 3, basically keeping families and kids together. We just got the approval for that. We have a ton of different mental health places: Generations Mental Health, Cheer Mental Health. You can get your therapy, medication management, case work. One of my big supporters and big time help in our courts is the Hope House here. It's pretty new. It started last year. Darla and Michael De Leon, huge blessing. Do a lot of stuff for the court system. A lot of your assessments that are needed for the court mandates. I can go to her at any time and help, and she's actually helping on some other stuff as well, getting people in transitional. You have Spring to Life Recovery. Started out in Canyon County, but they have a nice building out here on Smithville Highway. People ask what that big nice building is on Smithville Highway. It's called The Forge, and it's I forgot how many beds it is, but it's a treatment facility. I think it does commercial insurance right now, but it's a 48-day, I think, detox and treatment. Real big for people who don't maybe want to go to like a mental health clinic and go there. Faith-based, huge. Those guys worship like like no other. Yeah. And we have some other affiliates in surrounding counties. Your Health Connects and Youth Villages comes here and does stuff. We have a bunch, and so there's ways to get into treatment if you just ask. And like, fortunately for my job, we get them all the time. And, I will help people as much as I need to. And a lot of your churches, don't forget your churches have stuff too. There's people who get stuff done through church and have a lot of affiliates. I also do a bed ministry at my church. People don't know about this, but we get calls, our church get calls from certain individuals throughout the county, and if especially a child who doesn't have a bed, and we found out we were actually furnished a bed for them, I usually go put it up for them. And there's nothing more enjoyable than watching a kid get a bed. You would think that he is going to Disney World, he or she. I love doing that more than probably anything that I do right now. and I love doing that. It's just something I would do regardless. It's on the side, but it doesn't seem like a on the side job to me.
Well, Chris, we've got time for maybe a 30-second answer. When people think about Warren County in 10 years, what do you want it to be?
Progressive the right way. Growth just enough to keep the Warren County people here. I think Warren County people should be able to live here, eat here, shop here, and not have to spend their revenue on 4 other surrounding counties. That's literally what I want to see Warren County do. So whatever that means to keep them here, that's what I want to happen.
Well, Chris, Chris Rippy, District 3 Commissioner, candidate for re-election. Thank you for joining us tonight.
I appreciate
it. Just so you know, we will invite the other candidates to come on, just so that we have an opportunity to hear from all of them.
Good deal.
So, Chris, you've been a great guest. This has been Behind the Mic, and thank you for joining us and supporting conversations about the future of Warren County.
I appreciate you having me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
You know I like my chicken fried, a cold beer on a Friday night, a pair of jeans that fit just right, and the radio. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, I was raised up beneath the shade of a Georgia pine, and that's home, you know. Sweet tea, pecan pie, and homemade wine, where the peaches grow. In my house, it's not much to talk about.
WBMC McMinnville, 960 AM and 97.7 FM. WBMC.